Hi everybody, my name's Natalie. I'm here just to talk a little bit about Rocky 50. It was this past weekend on February 12th down at Huntsville State Park down in Texas. I have done the race. This was my first time doing the 50 miler there. Last year I finished the Rocky Raccoon 100. And the year before that, I had tried the 100 as well. Got a DNF though at mile 39. Just a tiny bit about me. I think I'm technically considered an experienced trail runner. I am not fast. You can look at me and you see I'm a fairly middle-aged woman. I am a mid to back of the packer in the ultra world. Shorter races I'm faster, but as it gets longer I get slower and I don't hold up as much as some of the faster folks. I'm not sponsored by any company. I just really enjoy running. I'm at a lot of races. I'm not going to bore y'all with all those details on this video. I'm just now starting a channel. Mostly because I think it's important to see races from everyone's perspective. I discovered the world of ultra running through YouTube. Most of the videos are made by a really specific group of men that are out there running, and they're really fast. So they're awesome, they're amazing. I would absolutely not have probably pursued this if I hadn't been watching those videos all along. So no disrespect to any of those guys whatsoever. Hopefully my camera skills will develop too. I've never had a camera other than my phone before, so, you know. I had every intention of having videos from Rocky this weekend, but I was concerned about cutoffs, and I had just gotten this camera like the week before and hadn't had any time to play around with it. So here we are, me sitting on the floor by my treadmill and my bike, and it's 9:45 at night, so here we are. So anyway, Rocky Raccoon and Rocky 50. The courses are not rocky, very rooty. The original course is different than what it is now. It's had to change due to COVID. There's still multi-lap races. Originally the 100 was 4 25-mile laps. Now it's 5 20-mile laps. I'd never done the 50 before or looked too much into it, so I suspect it was probably 2 of those laps. I could be wrong. Now the 50 mile is 3 16.7-mile loops through both sides of the park. The 50K was also running this weekend, and they did a modified first loop and then a full second loop. And then there was also a half marathon, which I think it was the first year for that. I could be wrong, but I was, they have their own course. Looked like a lot of it was the same big loop that we did on our second portion. So that was exciting. It was really nice to see everybody out there. There were so many runners. I think when I added it all up, there were somewhere between 400 and 500 runners total out there on the trail throughout Saturday. Staggered start line. We chose our starting windows, and then we just showed up between, like, my start time was 6:30 to 6:55 in the morning. So I think I started at 6:32 and some seconds. I think I prefer that. There's less anxiety, especially if you are like me in the back of the packer. You're not worried about holding people up, and you're just kind of free to do your own pace. Loops are, the aid stations for the loops are spaced out really well for this race. First one is at around mile 6. That's the Nature Center aid station. The second one, Damnation, is just a little over 5 miles. And then to get back to the finish line at, I think it's Raven Hall, is right around 6 miles. They're the longest 6 miles. It feels a lot longer for that last section. Weather this year, I knew it was going to be windy. I was watching well in advance, so I knew I had an idea of what to pack. I don't do drop bags at other aid stations generally, just at the start finish. So I had one drop bag, and I had all my clothes. I didn't have any planned shoe changes or anything like that either. So You know, I kind of had to know what I was going to be doing for the next almost 17 miles. The weather was cold. I don't think it was as cold as it was for the 100 this year. It was chilly. I know I started with a shirt and a sweatshirt. I had to take the sweatshirt off at Nature Center and throw it in my pack. And it started to get a little chilly at the end of the second loop. I knew there was supposed to be wind and rain. I was like, well, I really don't want to carry this sweatshirt, so I left it at the drop bag, which, you know, it worked out. I kind of wish I'd had it to put it on in about 6-7 more miles after that, because it got really cold. It got very cold that afternoon. It was at least in the mid 30s, I believe, and I heard one of the volunteers saying it felt like it was in the 20s according to the weather station app. So it was cold. And then for the third loop, I put that thing back on, and it actually was beautiful weather for the third lap. It warmed up a little bit, the wind died down. I finished a little after sunset, so yeah, I had the temperature drop with that. There were some people out there that looked really miserable. I'm from Alaska, so that doesn't mean I like cold weather running. In fact, I really, really despise it. But I think that just the practice of doing it, I can weather the elements a little better than some folks. But kudos to everyone who was out there and doing it in the dark and in the cold. Couple things I learned. Yes, 50 miles it's only 50 miles, but it's still a long ways. And absolutely nothing to scoff about. Originally, I was going to do the 100-mile last weekend and then be there for the week and volunteer during the week, and then run the 50 the following weekend. I wasn't able to make it to the 100, so I wish I'd had the comparison of the two to go with. But a couple things to know about this course. One, it's rooty. When I first started doing it, and this is my third year I've been on the course, I thought it was super technical, and just, my DNF was because I blistered up. I didn't know how to take care of my feet. I thought I did, but I did not. If you ever read Ketra Corbett's Reborn on the Run, it starts with her experience on the Rocky Raccoon course. Highly recommend it, or at least read that chapter. The whole book's awesome, but you will get a really good feel of what trail conditions there are there. If you have not experienced roots and sand and humidity and just lots of sidestepping, you should get that practice in for sure. I wish I had the first year. Last year, I got a couple blisters. I learned a little bit more. This year, I used Run Goo, changed my socks after every lap, loosened my shoes after every lap, and I walked away with 0 blisters. So it is possible. As long as you go slow and carefully, you should be okay. There are people that injure themselves every year, and it can happen to everybody. I fell at a race in November and messed up my shoulder really bad, so it can happen to anybody. I didn't see anybody really injured this weekend. I did see a lot of people limping, unfortunately, but I think that goes kind of hand in hand with any ultra. The aid stations were amazing. They always are. I come to a lot of Tejas Trails races. I live in Alaska, and I'm like, I'm going to their races because they're going to take care of me. People are good people, and I'm going to feel welcome. So that's really good. Lots of food options, hot, cold, all the beverages. Even at the final aid station, final 2 aid stations on the final laps, when there weren't a lot of us left out there, there was still plenty of food. So it was nice to just, sit and chat for a few minutes and then keep going. There's lots of bridges there. I heard reports that they were pretty icy during the 100, and I've experienced that. They were in great shape for us. The trail overall, there were like 2 tiny muddy sections, but by the third loop, most of that water had actually dried up, so it was a lot smaller. And then I didn't have any icy bridges whatsoever, both before and after sunset, so it was good. There were no alligator sightings. There's signs when you come in saying alligators exist in the park. I've never seen an alligator there, though. I saw lots of birds, so those are out there. They're a little less frightening though. The medals, I didn't bring my medal. I wish I had. It's in the kitchen, but very cool medal. I think there were 2 this year. One might have been last year's. If that's what it was, I think I got last year's maybe because it looked an awful lot like the belt buckle I had, but I really liked the design, so I have no complaints. I'm just happy to get a medal. So if you're going to do this race and are just starting to go up in distances, it's very worthwhile to go to. You're going to be taken care of. It's got place for your family, for your crew. If you do longer and have pacers, there's plenty of places to join up on them. Overall, it's a good time, you know. Ultras are always hard, they're always tough, but you know, this one with the loop course, you never feel like you're alone out there at all, and there's lots of things to see. So I'll probably think of more things to say after this, and again, I apologize that I don't have any footage. I just was I had a really bad DNF in January at the Hurt 100, and so I was like, I am not gonna miss cutoffs whatsoever, so I did not get any video footage, but I will, and other things. So this is a brand new channel for me. I guess I'm supposed to say like and subscribe. I probably should have said that earlier, but I hope to see you guys, you know, sooner rather than later for some of these videos, and keep watching. Thanks.